got somebody in here already. How are you guys? So, did you guys catch the episode last night? That was interesting. Now, for all of those who thought that she was going to pick Danny and um, Judge, okay, you were right. You know what? Hold on. Let me just give a couple of more seconds to let people kind of get in here. Were you guys surprised last night? We'll get into that, but definitely she kind of surprised me a little bit. Hey Leah, how are you? I was hoping you're gonna tune in. Good to see you. Thanks. I'm glad you made it. Cool, cool. So assuming you watched it last night, right? So yeah, oh goodness, listen, it was one of those days. I was up so late last night. Oh, you did good. I was up so late last night trying to watch that because it comes on at 11:30 p.m. in my area. So, I was up till I was supposed to be up till 1:30, but there's just no way I can do that. It was so late. So I watched like half of it last night and I finished watching the other half of it this morning. And oh my goodness. So, all right, let's go ahead and get into it. Oh, hi, three people in here. How you doing? Good morning. Halito, Chichukma, everybody. This is CT over the NYC Indian. Today we're going to be reviewing the courtship, and last night was the final episode. So, oh, and first of all, I wanted to address before I get into the episode. Last week when I made my video, for some reason, I don't know why, like maybe after 7, 8 hours after the video was up, I get a notification from YouTube saying that I had spam, and they're saying that I was putting, I was like maybe responding to the comments with the same comment. And everyone, like when you guys know, when you guys leave me messages, I try to get back to you guys, and I try to do it right away as soon as I get the notification. And for some reason, YouTube is just weird. There's bots and algorithms. Listen, I know you're not caring about how the sausage is made. I'm not trying to go into all of that, but for whatever reason, if you guys were looking for the video later on and you couldn't find it, that's why they took it down. I totally did not understand why. So if you guys do leave some comments in, I will comment back, but maybe I'm not going to comment back to each and every one, only because they may just like throw my video away basically. So, oh, it's just terrible. So anyway, okay, so let's get into it. So let's see. I had to take notes because that's a very long episode. So, all right. Oh yeah. So listen. Okay. So one thing. Okay, I'm gonna be petty and shady, right? But the first scene, or not the first scene, but like in the first couple of scenes, the mom was wearing this green outfit, this green dress. It looked terrible. I was like, what's up with this really bright green? I mean, it was greener than her eyes. Okay, like usually her mom has green eyes and they really stand out, but like the dress was competing with the eyes. I'm always on the wardrobe here. As of course, I had to come dressed for you guys today, right? I had to put on my finest. I have no idea what era this is corset. So, all right. So now she's down to the final three, and she goes on a like a Back to the Future kind of thing, and they do that in the town of York. So now we're down to Cones and Danny B and Judge. So they're all dressed up in their normal clothing. She has different dates and stuff. So first she meets up with Danny B, and okay. Oh yeah, so I always had to like, take a look at like what she was wearing and everything. So I noticed that, once we see her in her modern gear, like, she's got her hair all blown out, she's got her extensions in, she's got her little walk, honey. You can't tell her anything. She's like, oh no, I got my heels on today. Forget all these frumpy dresses with empire waist, right? And we all know an empire waist, like especially if you've been pregnant, sometimes you'll wear empire waist to try and feel cute. But empire waist doesn't do much for your waistline, right? It kind of hides a lot. So, she's feeling all in her element and everything. And yeah, so they have their date, and he reveals on the date that he is falling in love with her. And I was like, oh, here we go. Here we go. So now that he has said what she wanted to hear, what she thought she would never hear, which I feel like she's kind of been chasing him a little bit because she likes him, but she just wasn't sure if he could get to the same place that she was at. I felt like, okay, this might be it. Because, everybody knows me, knows I was for Judge, right? So, I mean, he's just been, ever since he like came on the scene, he was my top pick for her. So now she goes on a date with Judge, and I was not loving the dress and the bicycle jacket and the hair. That just that wasn't I wasn't into that. But I did like how he tried to make things fun and romantic for her. Like I feel like he really went out of his way to romanticize her, or to, is that the right word? Romanticize her, like romance her. Sorry, to romance her. So that was cute and everything. And then she went on a date with Cones, and with Cones they were hanging out together, and like, or she gets there and he has like a little picnic blanket and like the constellations for the day of her birth. I mean, that was very romantic. I know. Yeah, I know, you're right. Look, so Leah says poor Mr. Cone, she should have let him go last week. I mean, she kind of knew she wasn't into him. I think that was a production thing. They wanted to make it seem more dramatic to have three people at the end, but no, she definitely should have let him go. I think she should have let him go even before that, because she just knew that she was not into him, right? So, okay, so now that they've had their dates and, let's see, but why lead him on? I know. I mean, I know, especially if we're really trying to do this, like, you know, um, I mean, it seems, I mean, of course, this is a television show, but I mean, in my mind, I'm just going to assume this is real and these are real marriages and proposals and engagements. I mean, at least I like to believe that anyway. So, yeah, I mean, she shouldn't have let him on if she knew that, she really wasn't that into him. But again, I think that was a production thing. So, okay, so now they've seen each other in all their, natural wear and stuff like that. And it was funny when I saw, when I'm looking at Danny, he seems very confident. He seems very, like, because he seemed like he always seems a little bit insecure the whole time, because he's more of a type that's more into the competition, or not into the competition, but he feels more like he's competing and things like that, right? So, I mean, he when he was there that day in his regular clothing, I got to see more like what I would feel like I would see Danny in New York, okay? And it's not bad. I wasn't like, Danny's a terrible guy. I just wasn't really sure where he was in terms of his level of commitment. But he has slowly seemed like he's kind of getting there. I I don't know. I'm still not 100%, but I definitely have seen him make improvements. And I mean, you can't really blame a person. You're going in, you're meeting a person, from scratch. It's reasonable to not be like, oh, I'm, right in love with her. And I do respect that honesty. That's fine. But that doesn't mean he won't cheat on you. What did you say, Leah? You can't. Oh, you just can't get behind his voice. Is it his accent? Because he definitely has a New York accent. Are you talking? When you say you can't get behind his voice, are you talking about? Are you talking about Danny? Because Danny definitely has the New York accent, right? And there was like a, yeah, no, oh, the nasal, because okay, all right, the nasal thing, okay, that is also kind of a New York thing. And you see that in certain neighborhoods, like in Spanish Harlem. You'll notice a lot of people, who grew up either speaking Spanish or not, or maybe a couple of generations, they tend in New York, but it's like the same family that moved from Puerto Rico or from the Dominican Republic, they can move to a different state and not have that nasal thing as much as they do in New York or places like Miami. I know exactly what you're talking about. And I didn't even think about that, Leah, because I guess I'm from New York, so I'm so used to hearing that. But he's kind of like, yeah, sure, like that, right? So when I saw a Judge in his regular clothing, I was thinking, okay, all right. I mean, he looks good, but it was almost like he looks a little too good, like, okay, this is real world. You're walking down the street with something like that, with all that nice color he has, and he's tall and he's like in shape and everything like that. I was like, that I was having second thoughts for a second, like, oh, you may have to be worried about him just going to the grocery store, honey, because those women will be like, "Rah." Anyway, so, and Cones, he looked good in his clothing, but I mean, what can we really say about Cones, because that really wasn't her final choice. So, all right, so now it's elimination time, and she does eliminate Cones, as we kind of figured she would. I just think that, yeah, I kind of wish she would have done that sooner. But now we're down to the final two. And I kind of thought these were going to be the two that were going to be left as well. If you guys are just joining in, we are talking about the courtship. We are at the point of the eliminations right now. So we've gotten rid of Mr. Cones, and we're down to Danny and to Mr. Judge. or I should, Jesse, that's his name. So, all right. So they're going on like these, like, before they start going on these like little separate last dates, decision type dates, the family sits down and talks to her. So the parents say, really, we like Jesse. And I thought that they were leaning towards Jesse, Mr. Judge. And, and they were still a little bit unsure about Bokikio, but they were saying, well, he's kind of, he's made some strides, but when they played back the tape, or like, the footage of when he's saying, I'm here for an experience, and the dad's like, are you just here for an experience, or like, what else are you here for? So, yeah, so now, okay, so they've expressed what they felt. So that kind of planted the seed in my head. All right, she's got a court, she's doing this like sort of, Regency era thing. So I think her parents' decision are going to weigh very heavily on who she decides to go with. So after they go on their little dates and stuff like that, and Bakikio, he just kind of, he always looks at her with that little smile and like those long eyelashes, and he definitely does seem like he is really getting more and more into her. Now I'm hoping that it's not just a competition thing. It does seem like he just genuinely is becoming more into her. But when he told her that he loved her, I was like, okay, I don't know if I really believe that, but maybe he thinks at least he's starting to. Like, I think I would have been more comfortable if he would have said, I'm starting to fall in love with you, right? I mean, that's, but even still, I just feel like it's too soon for that. But I realize everybody's in competition. So, when it's time for them to have, like, then she goes on a date with Mr. Judge, and he's got his falcon on his arm, he's got this and that, and Danny had like all these little things hanging from a tree, like they were really going over the top with the romantic gestures, and I appreciated them putting in the work. I mean, what's wrong with guys putting in a little bit of work to win a woman's heart? I mean, whatever happened to that? Can we learn nothing else from this show? Can we at least, we can learn to become a little bit more chivalrous, and also ladies expect more, right? Like, no, you're not going to just meet me at the coffee shop. Or, okay, well, you can do that if you want to. But, like, okay, let's say, in certain areas, it depends on where you live. Once you're in the dating phase, you can come pick me up. That, I shouldn't always have to meet you at wherever. Not when you're first meeting someone, of course, especially if you meet them online. Don't have them come to your house. So, okay, so now it's time for the ball. And, they're dancing and stuff like that. And then Jesse calls her out to go outside with him. So I'm like, uh-oh. And Danny's sweating and he's looking, he's like, oh my God, is this gonna be a proposal? Oh no, what's gonna happen? So they get outside. What'd you say? I wasn't that into Mr. Judge, but my heart legit broke for him. Oh yeah, I know, I know. I mean, when she took him out there, or he took her outside, and he's like, you know, telling her how he feels and stuff. And there's something about him that is very charming, like the way he would look at her. You know how he kind of turned his head like that, and it was just something that was like so, like such a chemistry. I really felt like he was so into her. And then she just is like, you know what, basically, like, let me stop you there. As he's progressing his love, but she might think that he's about to propose, so she wants to stop him. And his face was kind of like, you could tell he was taken aback. He didn't think that that was coming. And like he said later on in the interview, that he was trying to manifest this. He thought this was going to happen. Now, she said that she didn't want the safe bet, right? And that's why I'm thinking that she thinks that Bokikio, because he's got like that New York, brutal honesty kind of thing. Even her mom said, I appreciate the honesty, but sometimes it's almost like it's almost more than what you want to hear. Sometimes people can mistake that for this person is always going to be truthful, and that is not the case. So if you've ever dated in New York City, you listen. You can have people that can tell you, when you say, hey, you're about to go for a date. Do I look fat in these jeans? These jeans make me look fat. A New York guy will tell you, yeah, actually they kind of do. Whether that's a good thing or bad thing for you, they'll be like, yeah. So that doesn't mean that he doesn't have another woman in Queens or another one in Long Island or something like that. So I think because she's from Seattle And because, like I said, I'm living in Seattle, and the way that not that I've been in the dating scene here because I haven't, but you can just see the culture of how people behave and how aggressive or passive people are. It is definitely so different from New York. And I think that is what she likes about him. He is the exotic piece of fruit for her. And I think Judge reminds her more of somebody that might be in Seattle, but I mean, men don't look like that in Seattle. I'm telling you right now. Judge is fine, but they don't look like that in Seattle. But maybe ready to settle down or want to get married or something like that. I think that's maybe closer to what she was probably used to here in the state of Washington. So she lets him down. His face gets like he's kind of looks almost confused and shocked, right? And I think what it is with him, I think I mean, I want to know the full backstory on this guy, but I have a feeling because Mr. Judge looks the way, I mean, he looks like a model, right? Like an underwear model or something, right? So somebody like that is probably used to getting who he wants to date, and he's probably used to, I mean, and the thing is, usually when you see guys that get, the good looking guys that have the pick of the litter, usually they're players, or, they talk down to women because they know they have all these options. He's really good looking and all those things, and still actually treated her very kindly and didn't give me any of those, like, scuzzy scumbucket kind of vibes. So it's interesting because he, as good looking as he is, he's actually the safe bet. That's so weird. Usually the good looking one is not the safe bet. You don't want the one that's so fine everybody else and their mama wants to date him, right? So, yeah, I mean, he just looked confused, but I guess because he's probably not used to being told no. I think that's really what that is. But I still feel that his reaction was still, it was still very respectful. He didn't get nasty or anything with her, like, because sometimes when people are like not used to rejection, and I'm just assuming he's not used to rejection. I don't know that for a fact, but looking the way he does, I would assume he's not used to so much rejection. Usually, that those people can be very, very just disrespectful when you tell them, hey, I'm not interested. So, but I guess at the end of the day, she just didn't want that safe bet. So as soon as she goes, she looks in his eyes and she starts tearing up. She's like, yeah, but I'm just, my butterflies are better with someone else. As soon as she said with someone else, literally, you could hear that carriage like screeching, okay? It pulled up to the front of that castle like it was nobody's business. And it was so funny. What'd you say, Leah? She said, when she said that from the carriage, I'll find my love. Yeah. I mean, listen, I'm not worried about Jesse. His DMs are going to be popping, okay? There's no way that man is going to remain single after being on that show. In fact, I'm wondering, and I don't know if you guys think the same thing, I'm wondering if he's gonna get like get picked for The Bachelor. I mean, could you not picture him on The Bachelor? I mean, I think he shouldn't be on The Bachelor because I think he has much more substance and depth to him than what that Bachelor show is. Ugh. But I could see him getting recruited for something like that. His agent, he's going to be an actor now. I mean, you don't look like that and then, just, wind up being a wrestling coach for the rest of your life. I don't think that's going to happen. But yeah, so he just tearfully gets into the carriage and he's like, tearful and still kind of, dazed and confused and like, oh man, I guess, all right, I'll find someone. And I'm like, oh my God. What'd you say, Leah? Season 2 is probably not happening, right? You know something, Leah? I have not actually looked that up yet. And I I should have, right? But yeah, that's a good question. Did they get selected for a second season, and are we going to get a reunion? Now, I put down season 1 in my reviews just in case we luckily do get a season 2, and then maybe we could do this again, and then it'll be easier to find the video. But I'm just not sure with this time slot and being so late and everything. I know it comes on at 8 o'clock for other people in the United States, but where I'm at, it comes on at 11:30. My God. So we shall see, but yeah, what'd you say? I think they moved it to another network because of low ratings. They did. They did. It was on NBC, and it would have done very well on NBC, but their requirements for how many people that they want to watch that show is so high. They just weren't meeting that. But they also didn't do a lot of advertisement. Think about shows like The Bachelor and these Love in Paradise shows and stuff like that. They do a lot of advertisement for those, but they didn't do a lot of advertisement for this one. I just don't even understand. So anyway, so what's next? So she decides that she's going to let him go, and then she goes back into the castle, and she talks to, I don't know if she went back into the castle, but anyway, she hooks up with Bokikio, and Bokikio, he pulls out a ring and he proposes. So, okay, this is her decision, so I have to be okay with this. And I feel like she didn't go with just like a whimsical choice. Bokikio is, I mean, I just feel like, those two would be better to meet in person. I don't know. I feel like him in this kind of process is not great. I don't think he's a bad guy, and I don't think he's like not dateable. I think she could be with somebody like him, but I feel like I need more time because he's always like, he doesn't talk quite as much. And I just don't feel like I know where he's coming from exactly. I know he got burned in some previous relationships, but hey, who hasn't, right? But I just feel like I need to see a little bit more before I can be like, okay, I really trust this guy. Like with Judge, I trusted him. I don't know why, but I didn't really have as much trust with Danny. So we'll see going forward. And Danny said, now, all right, so now we got to start talking logistics, okay, ladies and gents. I don't know if there are any guys in here. If there are any guys, say hello. But I feel like it's only ladies watching today anyway. But let's see. Apparently, he was on America's Next Top Model. Oh, is that right? Oh goodness. Is this another model? Oh my God! I thought we had all the models eliminated already. Well, yeah, listen. I mean, you can't be mad at him. I mean, look at him. You may as well make your money however you can get it, right? On America's Next Top Model? That's interesting. I didn't know that. Well, I just kind of felt like, I'm going to go back to Danny in a second, but I'm still kind of mourning the loss of Judge because I felt like, he was ready to get married. He was ready to have kids. I mean, so he says. I mean, you never know. Maybe once after the show starts, it could be a whole different situation. But I mean, I felt like he was really what like she says she wanted, right? But she winds up picking Danny. So we'll see how her and Danny go along. So let's talk logistics here, folks. Now, he is a realtor and she is in IT, I believe. So if he's a realtor, then he has his New York State license. I'm assuming that because he says he's from Staten Island, I'm assuming he still lives in Staten Island or at least Manhattan. So I'm assuming he is selling homes in New York State. So if he goes to another state, he's going to have to. I don't know how they do with real estate licenses, like real estate licenses, if they have to, like if they can just like switch and pay some money, or if they have to retest. And the reason that I bring that up because that can make a difference as to where he decides he's going to live. Because he said that he's actually willing to go to Seattle. Now I'm telling you right now, I'm not saying there's no New Yorkers in Seattle. There are, but I don't see that happening. The culture here is just too different. I mean, it's very hard because New York was like, you're so used to getting everything. And well, I mean, but things have changed now that you can get so much delivery service. It used to be like the life that we live now, how we can get Amazon Prime and this, the next day and all those conveniences and your laundry done right away and stuff like that. Anything is like an app away, right? It used to be like that in New York even before smartphones. So people in New York can kind of get spoiled to having, everything that they want at their fingertips. And, once you move to Seattle, it'll be different, but we're in a different time now. It's a little bit more modern. So he could still have some of that, but it's just so different. I do not. He should, and he's from Staten Island. Guys, Staten Island is a very little small enclave in New York. It's very, it's not very, there's a large Hispanic community there. Now it's mostly Italian American, some Black Americans as well, but it's not the most diverse if you're talking about New York City. And I want to know about these logistics. So if he moves out here, I think it'll be better for her, but he's going to be miserable. So, excuse me, if she goes out there because she's in IT, it would make more sense. But she's not going to have her family support, and she's very close to her family. So I don't know if she's willing to move across country for him. But financially, he can pay the bills now. Listen, he will definitely be able to take care of her. And I think that's very, very important. So there's just still a little bit of a trust factor that I'm still not 100% sure with him. So now, if she moves over there, are they going to live in Staten Island, where I'm assuming he lives? Because because if they live in Staten Island, I mean, I'm just saying, Staten Island is not very. I mean, to be an interracial couple, they'll do a lot better in Seattle. What's this, Leah? I was talking to a couple's IG from it. I don't think they're still together. Really? Really? Are they not together still? Oh my God. Oof. Oh my God. You're spilling too much tea, Leah, girl. I haven't even done any research like this. I've been so busy. Are you serious? Oh my God. I have to look that up. I gotta, oh no. Hold on one second. Listen, guys. Leah just put in the chat that she was looking up on Nicole's IG and she's thinking that they're not still together. So let me look this up now because I was saving myself. I'm just looking on my phone here. I'm going to look up Nicole Remy and see if these two are still together. Nicole Remy, Bokikia. We'll put Danny and see what comes up. All right, the Courtship fans. All right, so this is according to okay, let's see. The most recent one was 7 hours ago. This is from sportskita.com. This fan slam Nicole for choosing Daniel over Jesse. Okay, but that's not telling me if they're still together or not. Yeah, that's something you may find out on IG or something. It may be a little bit too soon for that to be posted. But you know what? Listen, guys. Whenever you want to know the real tea, you go over to Reddit, okay? They will always let you know on Reddit what's going on. But oh my God, that's crazy. You just threw me for a loop, Leah. All right, so oh my goodness, I can't even get my thoughts together now because I'm trying to think like who's gonna live where or whatever. But if they're not together, oh. So anyway, going back, so in case they are still together, if she moves to Staten Island, sometimes people can be very, there's rude people in every state and every city, but there's a certain kind of New York kind of rudeness where people, when they want to say what they want to say, they shout it out to you when you're walking down the street. And that definitely can happen when you're in a racial couple. It has happened, like racial slurs and stuff like that. That has happened to me. That has definitely happened to me. So Staten Island, I don't know about that. Maybe Manhattan, but not Staten Island. But I mean, if he's in real estate, he has money. He can, get a Manhattan property or something like that. Can't he just like sell a couple of penthouses and make some good commission? I mean, I have no idea. But then again, now when he said he's in real estate, now there's a difference. So my one of my good friends did this, and she was just like maybe 3 years or so. She had immigrated from Ireland, and she was like, you know what? I don't have college. I don't have this. I don't have that. I'm going to go into real estate. And I remember her telling me about how like the real estate market in New York works like as an employee. And she was saying like, it's like very cutthroat and most people don't even want to give you the listings and stuff like that. And, you could just you could say you're in real estate and just be helping someone, or you could be doing like, I don't know what level of work, but not necessarily licensed. And then there's brokers. So there's different levels. So we don't know what level he's in, but let's just assume he's licensed and he's selling houses. He's making good money. He would be able to afford to put her in a nice place in Manhattan away from Staten Island. Okay. So yeah, I mean, when they went back into the house or went back into the castle, she's showing off her ring, and then her sister's like ready to fall out, right? Just doing a Scarlett O'Hara. And that's another thing. So here's the thing. Her sister was so excited. Now, when Jesse took Miss Remy outside to maybe almost propose, I remember her sister was dancing with Danny, and because he was looking kind of nervous, and she wants to know like what his intentions are with the proposal. And remember him saying something about he would be open to a future proposal. And I was like, a future proposal? What does that mean? Like, you guys aren't going to rush me into proposing to this girl. I'll do it on my own time kind of thing. Or, he's going to do it right after the process. So I wasn't sure. And I remember thinking to myself, okay, the sister seems to be really into Danny. So then I realized, like, after she chose him, I was like, okay, her sister probably was like, you know what? Well, he has all these good qualities, and he's more, your speed and, more what you want. So I think her sister was probably very, I guess, what's the word what is the word I'm looking for? She played a large role probably in her finally deciding to choose him. So, oh God, that's so funny. So everybody's all mad at her because she chose Danny. That is so funny. I mean, at the end of the day, it's her life. She's got to live with this person. She's got to be the one to be happy with the decision and everything like that. So I mean, maybe they made it work. But oh my God, I'm so curious now. Oh my God. So all right, listen, I don't want to go on Reddit right now because I don't. You'll be sitting at a blank screen and I'll be sitting here on this phone for 50 minutes trying to find some information on Reddit. So if any of you guys are on Reddit right now, do me a favor, go on there and see if you could pull up any tea on what's going on with these two. Are they still together? That would be an absolute tragedy if they, broke up like already. I mean, I just, like I said, it's just, I can't really. I know the Danny B's of the world. I mean, I lived around them most of my adult life when I was a teenager. I know guys like that. So I'm just like, I don't know. He does seem to like her, but I don't know. I don't know. So what about you guys? If any of you guys are on here, like, put it in the chat. Like, were you happy who she chose? Did she choose who you thought she was going to choose? Did you make any bets with any of your friends? Because I was like, honey, I honestly, if I had to sit there and think about it, I mean, I was blinded by, I wanted her to pick Judge, but I did have a feeling that she was going to go with Danny. I just kind of had a little bit of a feeling, but I just didn't want to think about it too much because I was like, you know what? They had that initial chemistry, and she seems like a regular, like an average, she's the girl next door, basically, right? And I feel like, a girl like that, when you get that initial chemistry with somebody very early on, the others can be distractions, but you still like that same one. It's like that's your first kiss, your first, love on this, TV screen or whatever. So there was no denying that chemistry, but and then also in addition, she seems so much. I mean, looking back on it, we can always like hindsight is 2020, right? So we can look back on it and go, okay, well, she was always like kind of chasing his love. Like she had her feelings for him. I won't say she loved him, but she had her feelings for him, and she really wanted those feelings to be reciprocated. And looking back on it now, she didn't really seem that much with Judge. She just thought he was really gorgeous, right? And she's like, oh, he keeps surprising me and showing me different layers, but she didn't say like, that is just. Well, she did say that's what I want, so that is a little confusing. But she didn't say like, I really like him, and I just hope he feels that way about me too. See, that was a sign right there. I guess we should have took that as, oh, he's definitely going to be the one that she's going to choose. Talking about Danny, because she was kind of wanting that her feelings to be reciprocated, right? So it was a little bit of a chase for her in this case. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know, Nicole. Well, listen. Hey guys, if I'm ever at the local, grocery store and I see her, I see her with somebody on her arm, I'll come back on and I'll do a live and I'll come back and I'll report to you guys. But anyway, I mean, yeah, so they finished up the ball and they were announced as the new couple and everything. It was really funny when Danny was proposing to her. No, he had already proposed to her, and he was like, "Am I the last one?" Because he wasn't sure because she didn't tell him that she basically sent Judge home. And this was, I don't know what they did with production or whatever, but have you ever seen a freaking carriage like roll up on a location so fast? I mean, I thought that was like like a New York City taxi or something. It was just so quick. He was gone within a minute. I'm like, I don't know. I'm still processing that Judge is gone. But okay, this is a lot of little nuggets. So I have some things to look up. I have to look up Judge being a former model for America's Next Top Model. Which now, if that's the case, and he is just doing like, I mean, because I mean, from what I understood, he did collegiate wrestling coaching, right? So on the college level, I mean, college coaches, I mean, they can make pretty decent money. I mean, it's like a, it's a solid income. I mean, it's not like an NBA coach or something like that, but he can support himself. But if he was doing America's Next Top Model or some kind of modeling, was he just adding on to was he supplementing his income? Not just, wait, I was talking with IG. Wait. Hold on, what do you mean not Judge? Do you mean on a net? Oh, okay. Oh, so you think, Oh, so you're saying that Danny was on America's Next Top Model? Really? Really? I don't see that. Now I can see Judge on America's Next Top Model, but not Danny. Okay, well, listen, all this stuff we can all confirm all this later on. We can look online. That would be interesting. So if it was Danny, really on America's Next Top Model? Now, see, that's hard to imagine. I mean, but maybe he's into that. Yeah, from what you've read. Yeah, I know. All right, I know it's hard to know like what's true or what's not true. But I mean, who knows? Who knows? Maybe he was trying to, monetize on those long eyelashes. He's got that very Roman look, right? Danny. I don't know. I don't know, guys. This just was like, I mean, I don't know. I'm kind of disappointed. I'm kind of disappointed. I'm not going crazy, but I'm kind of disappointed. I just, I do, I see what she was attracted to with him and everything like that, but that kind of little chasing thing, like you always want the guy to go after you. Well, okay, listen, that's me, all right. I'm not gonna say for someone else, but to me, if it's like it doesn't matter who you're dating, if you're dating a man, you're dating a woman, gay, straight, bisexual, whatever. It's kind of nice for someone to pursue you, but whatever. So I just kind of like I saw her really like kind of like vying for his love. He has an IMBD credit there though. Oh, look. Leah's on the case, everybody. she's my detective out in the field. He has an IMBD page. Okay, okay. Yeah, this is not looking good. If that's the case, that's not looking good. Uh, I don't know. I don't know. Well, listen. Um, her parents seem to be happy with her decision. Though, unless I was watching something that I wasn't watching, I specifically remember hearing the mom and the dad saying that they really like Judge. And remember how her dad was like, if you feel this way about her, tell her, let her know. Now, I mean, and I was thinking to myself, now, is this going to catch him up because he didn't tell her that he loved her? Is that going to make her feel like, but I don't think that would have made a difference because she wasn't chasing his love. She was chasing Danny's love. Now, I mean, Nicole's made some poor decisions in the earlier part of the season. Okay, I don't know what she's going to wind up with. We will find out. But let's see if there's going to be a season 2 or not. If there is, I will be here, guys. You can tune in and find me. If there's any other, right now I'm doing a show about matchmaking, and that's specifically for a particular market in Atlanta. And yeah, so that's called Love Match Atlanta. I'm reviewing that one as well. I'm also reviewing, well, Married at First Sight is about to go off, so that's going to start again in July. I'm going to be starting Housewives of Dubai. I usually don't do any of the Housewives series, but this is like Dubai. I mean, that's going to be some serious money. So I want to see what kind of fashions and craziness they're going to be doing. What else am I doing right now? Let's see. Da, 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 da. Oh yes, a 90 Day Fiance, which is a complete and absolute shite show, complete shite show. So that we don't have to part ways and say goodbye forever. If you're interested in any of those other shows, check those out. And if you're just here to talk about like historical fashion, vintage, furniture, design and stuff like that, you can check out my segment called Chickasaw Chat, where I speak about, different crafting things. And that's a little bit more like Native American type stuff, but it's still, we bring the modern stuff in with it, right? We're not just Indians living, in the 1600s or whatever. So, yeah, so that's about it. I really appreciate all of you guys for hanging in there and watching with me. I love all of the comments. It has been, let me tell you something. I have to say, out of all the shows that I've reviewed, you guys have been like the best. I mean, you guys have like left so many comments and stuff and left like really like insightful opinions and like varying opinions and things that I necessarily wouldn't have thought about. So that's so cool. I really appreciate that. So I don't want to lose you guys. I don't want to miss you guys because the show is ending. So, like I said, check me out on my other channels. I still make videos, I make videos twice a week. So I do anywhere from 3 to 4 shows right now. So if there's anything else you like, you can check those out. if you guys enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up. Everybody in the chat, if you like it, please give it a thumbs up. Please subscribe, turn on your notification bell so you know when I make new videos. And I'm here every week, so we don't have to go anywhere. I'm not going to be wearing historical clothing each time. Damn, I have to get more reality TV. I know. It's because Leah, I know you're over in the Netherlands, right? I know, like for some of our international viewers, they get like these different streaming services and stuff where you can watch different shows. I think like maybe the days that they're released are different than they're here in the States, but you can still get them. So I'm not telling you to spend any money or anything like that. But if you guys are far away, just yeah, look up whatever kind of streaming you guys can find. And like I said, and if not, you don't have to do that. You can just see me on my Chickasaw chat segment. And I started doing lives for those as well. So, or no, I will be starting to do lives on those as well, so we can still interact. So I had a lot of fun. You guys, oh my God, I'm going to miss you guys. Don't go anywhere, okay? Just stick around, stay with me, okay? So please take care, stay safe, and Chipisa Lacho.